Sir, Adam as prime in his iRace ride, chasing pixels in the night, can't hide. Vintage games and flashing lights collide. Dad as the hero, yeah, we cheered and cried.
Alright, here we are in a really oddball game. Mario Andretti's Racing Challenge. Where we are going to drive a stock car at Daytona. This is kind of a pre-runner to something like iRacing. It's got multiple classes of cars at different tracks. There's only 12 tracks and 6 cars, but this came out in 1991, so we're gonna give stock cars a try at Daytona. Little advice from the man Mario himself. So try as I might, I could not get any sort of wheel to work with this, so keyboard it is. Alright, so we qualified on pole in front of Andretti. 43.8. It's way faster than what I just did in the NASCAR Racing 2003. So it looks like a 20 stop race, or 20 lap race, and do have to make a pit stop around lap 9, according to Mario here. And he's awfully snarky. I've had pole more for Indy a few times more than I've won. Yeah, whatever. So there you go, with the green flag here. It's a very primitive Daytona 500. And there goes Mario, I think. Just speeding away. This is about as primitive a game as you can get. It does some pretty severe rubber banding, if I remember correctly. But, you know, it was 1991, so... And there's no drafting or anything like that. It's pretty... This is pretty much just... full throttle and make sure we don't spin. And the keys are a little weird. You've got A to accelerate, S to stop, I guess, and then the arrow keys left and right to turn, which is an interesting choice. So another Daytona 500 kind of talking points here, I guess. So now NASCAR does these stages where they have mandatory cautions, effectively kind of breaking the race up into 3 sections. I don't understand that as a concept. It doesn't kind of takes some of the strategy out of it. I know it's a different type of strategy, but you know when there's going to be cautions. So I'm trying to go up underneath Mario here. So GPLaps did a video on this game a while ago. There's very little information on it online. It was not particularly popular, but he did a quick little retrospective of it, and it's really all over the place. This is actually one of the better car and track combos, because they did race stock cars here, and it is close to the actual track. You can identify that this is Daytona when you drive around it. Some of the other tracks are really bad. Except for the ovals, there is no elevation change. The only elevation change is these banked corners. So I just had a weird anomaly in my headphones. Sounds like just to get the OBS to work on here, which took some doing. Took a few laps around Laguna Seca, and it's completely flat. There's no elevation change, so the corkscrew is awkward. It's unrecognizable. And since there's only 12 tracks amongst 6 different series, which it starts with dirt sprint cars, dirt modifieds, and goes into this pseudo NASCAR, and then prototypes Formula 1 and IndyCar. But there's like 3 dirt tracks, a couple of ovals, and a few road courses. Some from each series, but they have to mix and match to make a season work for these. So you've got things like 1980s Formula 1 running at Laguna Seca and Le Mans, I believe. And IndyCar running at Monte Carlo. So, you know. Almost to the halfway point where we got to pit. I do not know how to pit, so I'm just going to pull into the... I don't see any pit stalls, so... I don't know if it just hasn't rendered, or if I have to stop in a particular place. It looks kind of empty down there, so... So this is actually my first game that simulated racing in a pseudo 3D way. My next game after this is what they called here is World Circuit, also known as Jeff Crammond's Grand Prix 1. I was big into NASCAR when this came out, and for several years afterwards. But once I got the F1 game, that was something else. Still have it too. So this kind of kicked off my interest in Formula One, just because there was no video games around. Or there's very few. And then there are some other ones that I got that were, most of them were actually Formula One based, or stunt car driving based. It wasn't until NASCAR racing came out in 1994 that we got an actual proper, racing game that was of a series that interested me. It looks like there might be a pit guy down in there. So they should pit next time around here. I said about lap 9. So about halfway through. There was another game that came out. It was called Dirt Track Racing. That was because at the time I was involved with dirt track racing. Mostly on the pit crew, but did get to drive. Alright, so into the pits we come. I do not know where to stop. I didn't know what L, R, F, and D is apparently what they were looking for. Oh, I just got bumped into by that blue car. It's going around me. Yeah, so this is my first foray into, I wouldn't really call this sim racing, but it does kind of have precursors to iRacing vibes to it. Or any of the multi-class racing, like things like Assetto Corsa does now. We're not running off of a single series, because a lot of the ones after this game were, oh boy, he's running really slow. A lot of the series later were single series, NASCAR racing, IndyCar racing, the Jeff Cranman Formula One games, they're all kind of single series. Well, interestingly enough, this one put IndyCar as a top tier of motorsports, not Formula One. Probably because of Mario Andretti's proclivities towards IndyCar. He did race in all these series, I guess, or to some degree. As for Daytona this year, I don't know who, I don't have any particular, I don't know any of the drivers really. Know a couple of them, but most of the drivers that I followed are retired or no longer. I was a big Earnhardt fan back in the day, senior. Still think of Jeff Gordon as a up-and-coming rookie, and he's retired, so, well, at least from racing. He had a full career, and I still think of him as a rookie, so it tells you how long I haven't watched NASCAR. I mean, I do watch, a race or two every year, but I'm still in P1 here. I don't know how long that's going to last, but last year I did watch the 500 and Chicago Street Race, which was absolute carnage. But, it looks like this year they're actually going to Mexico, and I guess they're racing in the actual road course layout there. They do have an oval track down there too, I think. That will be fun, because it's kind of fun to see Cup cars and Formula 1 cars on the same track. That's why watching Coda last year, just watching them violate all the track limits in NASCAR just made me, as a Formula 1 guy, just kind of scream at the TV a little bit. But, different series, so. So I guess if I am going to be rooting for somebody, it's going to be what they call it here is SVG. I don't know if they just can't pronounce his name. I probably can't either, but Shane Van Ginsburg, the guy who won Chicago Street Race because he's from Australian Supercars, which that's their bread and butter is street courses. So NASCAR really isn't ever known for street. I don't know if they've ever raced a street course before. It's so mostly ovals, but they're trying to get more. They're kind of gearing the cars more towards like GT cars. I mean, they did do a NASCAR hybrid combo thing at Le Mans last year, so which actually did really well. They were talking about how slow it was going to be and how you'd have to give way to all these other cars, and it was actually faster than a lot of cars out there. So it's fun to watch or hear about. But they are kind of leaning more towards the GT style cars here. More road courses, and they've changed to center lock wheels, and I think they've got sequential transmissions now too. Alright, so white flag. I don't know if that blue car did make up so much time on us, but I mean, our lap times haven't really changed all that much, but we'll call it a different setup for pit strategy here. We'll see what that blue car is here in a minute. Take the checkered flag, kind of. Looks like Andretti got third, and a couple of them did not finish. So yeah, they could only render 3 or 6 cars here. So we got onto the podium, which NASCAR doesn't do podiums, but yeah, they have victory lane, which only one guy shows up to. They must give out points for pole position here. Because that's not even close to NASCAR's point system back then, so. Yep. Anyway, thanks for watching this little bonus video, and catch you next time.